Hello. My name, for those of you who maybe haven't met me because this might be shared beyond my circle of friends, my name is Rachel Ratliff, and I was an elementary school teacher for about 13 years, and now I'm a counselor. And so, like a lot of teachers in my circle, I posted that I'm more than willing to help people. I'm also at home, and so when I'm not doing my own schoolwork, I'm currently in a PhD program for counseling. I'm more than happy to help you if I can. Um, and a few people reached out and asked for some specific, don't touch your face, asked for some specific information. So I thought that I would just make this quick video, hopefully to help all of you who are at home with your kids now, and how some of these things might be helpful for you. So here's kind of what I'll be going over in the video. Take care of yourself, make a daily schedule, use your resources, and I'm going to go over the ACT play therapy limit setting model because I think that might help as you're at home. So hopefully this will turn around so you can see that. So, one, when it comes to taking care of yourself, I know our kids are at home, and especially as women, and I think you even see this in men a lot too. We want to take care of everyone around us, and we forget to take care of ourselves. I think this was one of the biggest lessons that I learned as a teacher, that if I'm not feeling well or if I'm dysregulated in any way, upset about something, like it affects the whole class. And so it's even more so with your own personal children because you're so connected. And so taking care of yourself is so important because when we are centered, then it helps make our children feel safer. So if you do need to take a few minutes, take a few minutes for yourself. If you need to take a deep breath, take a deep breath for yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need to be prepared? And if you are able to, maybe it's something simple like, I was about to say toilet paper, but you may not be able to find toilet paper. But making a backup plan for that, you know, what is it going to take for you to feel like, okay, I'm prepared, and center yourself? Perhaps maybe the next piece that I'm going to talk about will help making the daily schedule. So, just making sure that if you are upset, then your kids are going to be upset. And so, it's not that this is a time when we're not going to be upset, but what can you do to make yourself feel a little calmer, a little safer, provide a bubble for you and your family, and do those things? Stretch yourself a little bit to have those things. Okay, so second, I'm going to talk about making a daily schedule. So, one of the reasons why school is as effective as it is because your children's class has a daily schedule. They know what to expect, they know what's coming next. Part of why this is so scary for us as adults and for them as children is because we're not exactly sure what is coming next. And so, you having a daily schedule is going to make a really big difference. I mean, you can Google daily schedules. This one I really liked. It's so simple. I found this online from Denver housewife. And so she says before 9, making sure you're waking up, changing into clothes, having breakfast, all of those things so that you're ready, your household is ready to go and be ready to do things at 9 a.m. From 9 to 10 can be free time. This might look different depending on your family. Maybe this is screen time. Maybe this is each child gets to take turns picking what game you play during this time. Maybe it's just free time, free play, all of those things. So, free time, whatever that looks like for your family. 10 to 11 can be outside time. We're not limited. You know, we can't not go outside. So maybe this is you're taking a walk around the block. Maybe you have an animal, so you're going to take your animal for a walk. Maybe you have different sports equipment that you can play with outside. If you have older kids, this outside time might turn into some more academic time. 11 to 12, creative time. There's a lot of very simple science experiments you can look up online, different craft projects. I find that boys tend to like crafty things more than girls, maybe because they don't do it very often. So in my class, the boys really liked it when we did different crafty things. You can definitely, there's so many resources on YouTube and different ways to be creative. Even just pulling random things out and putting it on the table and saying, hey, what can we make with this? What kind of game can we play? Just kind of getting them creative, being creative, coloring. It's relaxing for us, it's relaxing for them. So trying to think of relaxing things y'all can do together. Lunch from 12 to 12:30, chores from 12:30 to 1. It feels good, right? Like as adults, I think that sometimes we underappreciate what it feels like when we clean something. And 30 minutes doesn't have to be anything major. Maybe all of you are working in the kitchen together. Maybe all of you work in a bathroom if it's big enough together. Maybe one or two people work in the bathroom, a couple of people work in the kitchen. But everybody working together to make sure that the house stays clean and is running properly, whatever those chores look like for you. 1 to 2 quiet time. So this could be a nap time. This could be reading. It can just be you're just in your room and you can kind of do with it what you want, but it's a quiet time. So we're not on technology. You can read, you can lay in your bed, you can take a nap. Maybe you have dolls, you're going to play in your room quietly, but it's just a quiet time. This is especially important for you too. Going back to my point number 1, taking care of you. And so during this quiet time, you take quiet time also to recenter yourself. If you need to make a list or something, whatever that needs to do, like you take that for you time as well. 2 to 4, the academic time. I'll talk a little bit about, hopefully, I know a lot of my teacher friends are talking about that they're sending things to their students, that you can even come up with simple things to do with your kids, but setting that time aside to work with them on their homework and whatever things. I know I will try to find companies. I know there's a list of companies that are releasing their products for free right now so that kids can stay in their academic time. So I'll try to find that and link that below. Okay, and then 4 to 5, again, outside or playtime. Maybe you don't have screen time in the morning, so you have screen time in the afternoon, however you want that to work. Dinner, and then free time again until bed, whatever that might look like for your family. So I felt like this was a really simple schedule that anyone can kind of implement. You can even, what I would suggest is once you pick a schedule for your family, go ahead and write it down so that the kids can look at it, so that they have that continuity. They won't be asking you what's about to happen anymore because you have it written down. You can point them back to that. So limiting the unknown really helps children. I mean, think about how much it helps for us as adults. It's even tenfold for children. So definitely, whether you have this schedule or you have a different schedule, have a schedule. Then I wanted to talk about resources. So you want to use your resources. So like I mentioned, a lot of teachers I know are reaching out and starting to post things that you can do at home with your children. So use your child's teacher as a resource. There's community resources. I know in my town, we have a Facebook page where people are posting ways that they're willing to help and things that they need. And so looking to see if your community, I know there's neighborhood apps. In your neighborhood app, does it say something? Maybe people are starting to get together. So look for that. See ways that you can help. I know I was thinking, how can I help? I used to be a teacher, so I can help people with questions. These specific questions came up, so then I was like, okay, I can make this video. How can you help, even if maybe you aren't going out and doing different things. There's lots of ways that we can all help each other during this time. And then looking online, like I said, I'll try to find that post with the list of academic resources, but a really great one is teacherspayteachers.com. There are tons of free resources on there that you can look at, even if you aren't able to print at home, like I am not able to print at home. But even if you aren't able to print at home, you can get some ideas for things that you can do, ways to talk about different things. Even if you are able to print at home, there's super cheap activities, a couple of bucks. Some things are more expensive, but a lot of things are just a few dollars a piece. So that's a great resource. It's just teacherspayteachers.com. And I'm sure there's so many others. I just saw the Daily Cafe people just sent out an email. So there's lots of resources out there to help you get through this time and keep your children up to date. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about the ACT play therapy method. This is for limit setting in the play therapy setting, but I think it works really well even outside of play therapy. Just realize it does take some practice. Write down these steps. The trick is to be calm. With ACT, typically in play therapy, we don't set limits until they are needed. And then the trick is to then consistently set that limit. So if you've set that limit, you kind of need to remember. So if you need to start writing down limits that you've set so that you can consistently reinforce them, you might have to do that, right? Because we're all home. We're all going to be home for a really long time. And so you want to, the more consistency you can build for your children, the better. And just be aware that part of the reason why this works is because there's consistent limits every time. So ACT limit setting method, this is by Dr. Gary Landreth and Dr. Sue Bratton. They are kind of the current experts in child-centered play therapy. You can definitely look up more about play therapy, filial therapy, all of those things online. If you have if you have questions. I do not have the coronavirus. I'm having some allergy issues for the past couple of days. So, okay. So, the ACT limit setting method, again, Dr. Gary Landreth and Dr. Sue Bratton for child-centered play therapy and filial therapy. So, one, you want to acknowledge. Acknowledge what your child is doing, either the feeling they're having, the intention of what they're doing, or specifically the action. So it might be, and you can say their name to get their attention. So, Johnny, I see you really are excited about drawing on the wall. So we'll use drawing on the wall as an example. So, Johnny, I see you're really excited about drawing on the wall. Then you want to communicate the limit. You want to do this calmly and matter-of-factly. Walls are not for drawing on. Then you want to target alternatives, at least one or two. This is based on age. So if your child is younger, you'll just want to give one alternative. If your child is older, you could give two or maybe even three alternatives. Here, it's like giving the child a choice, returning the responsibility to them by giving them a choice. You can choose to draw on this drawing paper over here, or there's lined paper over there that you can draw on. And if you wanted a third choice, or you could choose not to draw at all. So sometimes we have to point out that a choice they could make is not to do the action at all, because children don't instinctively know that. Sometimes we have to point that out to them and then let them choose. So then he has a choice. He could choose not to draw at all. He could choose not to draw on the drawing paper, or he could choose to get some lined paper to draw on, right? So then he can make that choice. So again, Johnny, I see you're really excited to draw on the wall. Walls are not for drawing on. You can draw on the drawing paper over here, get some lined paper over there to draw on, or choose not to draw at all. Typically, this stops the behavior. So then if you have to go to the next level, you can say, Johnny, if you choose to draw on the wall, you choose not to have drawing materials for the rest of the day. So again, giving them a choice. Then if he chooses to continue to try to draw on the wall, of course you have to follow that up with taking the drawing materials and him not having them for the rest of the day. Okay? So you can see that I was very matter of fact, right? I was very matter of fact. I didn't say something like, it's probably not a good idea to do this, because it seems like, well, I think it's a great idea, is probably what Johnny is thinking. And you're communicating that you're not really sure whether it's okay to draw on walls. If you said you can't draw on the walls in here, then maybe they think they can draw on the walls somewhere else. If you say, I can't let you draw on the walls, then it's saying that it's your responsibility and not their responsibility about drawing the walls. Maybe you could draw something other than the walls, then they think maybe I can draw on the furniture. Saying the rule is you can't draw on the walls, then that's kind of stating that it doesn't matter what the child thinks about it, that this is just the way it is. Communicating that the wall is not for drawing on, communicates to the child that they're not bad for wanting to do it. It's just that nobody does that. So hopefully that kind of clarifies that languaging. So again, child's name, acknowledge the feeling, intention, or action. Johnny, I see you're really excited about drawing on the wall. Communicate the limit, but the wall is not for drawing on. Target alternatives. You can draw on the drawing paper over here. You can get some lined paper over there to draw on, or you can choose not to draw. So that does take a little bit of practice. I have been practicing this for about 2.5 years now, and I'm still not an expert in the ACT limit setting method at all. But hopefully that helps you as you are moving forward. If you have any questions about that or other ways that I can help you, please feel free to reach out. Okay, bye.